Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today here in Auckland we've got Cyclone Dovey coming through. So you can see outside it is a bit windy, it is cloudy, it's a really gloomy day and it's raining, so it's a nice time to have some curry. So today we'll be heading into the kitchen and making some goat curry. Now, in terms of my ingredients, it's the usual suspects. So we've got our onion, we've got curry leaf, we've got ginger, garlic, and chili, which I'll crush into a paste. In terms of my whole spices, I've got mustard, cumin, fenugreek, bay leaf, star anise, and cinnamon stick in there. And in terms of my dry ingredients, I've got chili powder, haldi, and just the normal masala. And also obviously not forgetting your salt. So in a hot pan, we've added some oil, and with that oil we've added our whole spices as well. Now when you're adding your whole spices, make sure your oil's not really hot. You want it to be sort of medium heated up, because you don't want to burn your whole spices. You just want it to release its fragrance into the oil. Now that's done, we've added our onions to it, and we'll give our onions a nice mix. So with the onions, what you want it to do is you want it to get really translucent, and you want your ends to brown off as well, and that's when you know that your onions are ready. Awesome, so the onion is looking like it is looking ready, sorry, and so we've added our curry leaves to it. Now at this stage I was going to add my ginger, garlic, and chili paste, which I forgot to do, so instead of that I actually ended up adding my dry spices, but you'll see that I'll add that straight away, and that's fine, because what you want is you do want to cook off your dry spices as well, and so it can release some of the flavors. So once I've added my ginger, garlic, and chili, we'll give it a nice stir and just cook that off for a bit. You want the oil to start separating from the masala before you add your goat curry to it. So that's bubbling away really nicely. Now that's all done. So that's taken me about, I'd say about 2-3 minutes to do. I've added my goat meat to the spices. Now what you want to do with your goat is you do want it to, you want to give it a nice stir, and so that it's all the spices are coated in your meat, and so that it cooks off really nicely. Now with this, what I'll do is once it's all once it's all mixed together really nicely, I'll cover it up and I'll cook it. You want to continue to cook it while once all the water has come out and it's burnt off. And you'll know that once it's done. Obviously at the moment you can see that there's a bit of water when I'm stirring it, and it normally, depending on the heat you use, I like to use sort of medium to high heat at this stage. It can, and obviously depending on the amount of meat you're using, it can take up to 10 minutes. So for me, it's taken me about 15 minutes because there's a bit of goat meat in there. And once that's done, you can see that it's starting to look really nice. And now, so we'll give it a nice stir. We'll make sure we pick up all the bits from the end and from the bottom before we add our water to the meat and cook it off once it gets smooth. Now when you're adding your water, just make sure with any cooking you do, you're adding hot water. That's so that the temperature doesn't drop with your food, and so so that it continues the cooking process. So once you've added your water, just make sure you deglaze the pan. So I've picked up all the bits from the side and from the bottom, and that's deglazing really nicely. Awesome. So I'll keep stirring it. And on the side you can see I've got my garnish, which I'll share with you a bit later. Cool. So that's been cooking away for about, I'd say, probably about 20 to 30 minutes. It really depends on the type of goat you have and how long it takes to cook it. At this stage, what I'll do is I'll add a bit of Palau masala. So I've added 1 teaspoon of Palau masala, and then I've added 1 teaspoon of normal masala. Now if you don't have Palau masala, that's fine. You can just add your normal masala. So you'll want to give that a nice stir. Just making sure that there's no parts where there's only a lump of the masala. You want it to incorporate really well, and we'll cover it up and cook it off. Look how beautiful that looks. So that's cooking away really nicely. We'll go check on it just to see how it's going. You can see the chili, garlic, and ginger, whatever was remaining in the motor. I've actually added that in there with some water, and it just freshens it up. I do like to add some fresh garlic and ginger all the time when I cook, sort of at that end stage. We'll go check on it again just to see how it's going. So it took me about, I'd say, 40 minutes to cook this goat, because we do like it quite soft and tender. All right, and that's looking really nicely. There's a lot of smoke coming out, so you probably can't see it, but the color looks really good. Now at this stage, depending on how much water you want, you can adjust the water to your consistency. Some people like a lot more gravy in there, and some people like it with medium gravy, or they just prefer it dry. Given I was serving this with roti, I wanted it to be sort of with medium gravy in there, so you can dip in your roti and you can eat it as well. All right, you can see I've opened it again just to see how it's going. I've put the heat to low, and because that's almost done for me. So we'll give it a stir, and just making sure, we're picking up all the bits and bobs from the bottom as well. I've added tamarind pulp at the end as well, and I use that with a lot of my fresh meat. Now the reason with this, you don't need to be scared to add it, because it actually doesn't make the meat sour. It just adds another depth of flavor. So when I added that in, I actually had the high heat, so I've again put in some water, and I've just to readjust my gravy. And once you add your tamarind pulp, you want it to cook for probably another 5 to 10 minutes. Just be mindful of that. You don't want to add your tamarind pulp at the start of it, because your masala won't taste as good. So tamarind pulp is always sort of right at the end of your cooking. Awesome, so that's all done. So what I'll do is I'll add in my garnish. So I've got some kasturi methi, I've got coriander, and I've got chopped curry leaves as well. And we'll give that a nice stir. Just make sure that it's all in there. Now it's up to you when you want to add your garnish. I like to add in my garnish and actually cook it off for about probably 2 minutes before I turn off the heat. That's looking really good. I don't eat goat meat, so my family actually said it was one of the best goat meat they've had. There we go. I'm trying to capture what it looks like, but you can see the color and the gist of it. It is looking really good. And the meat's all cooked off, because you can see the bones coming out. And we've served it with some roti. There we go. That's your goat curry, along with some cucumber and onion, and some Fiji gold. Now, if you like my channel, feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.